Luffy fought against Kaido, the strongest creature alive, and unsurprisingly, Kaido killed Luffy. And then Luffy, by being murdered by Kaido, by being killed by Kaido, woke up as a god. He woke up with an awakening ability. He woke up 1,000 times stronger and he was easily able to defeat Kaido. That's the most stupid thing I have ever read in my life. Luffy literally became a god before he became a pirate king. What's the point of One Piece?
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line. There's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing. I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
Sun God reveal made no sense at all. It created a lot of plot holes in One Piece. And I'm gonna expose all the plot holes that this Sun God nonsense created. When Luffy first turned into the Sun God, everyone kept saying, "Oh my god, Oda is a genius." Sun God was foreshadowed in Skypiea. The Sun God on Skypiea was a giant snake. It was literally just a giant snake. It had nothing to do with Luffy at all. The people living on ancient Skypiea worshipped a giant snake as a sun god. They performed human sacrifices for the snake and they were happy to die. If the snake ate them, then they would meet the sun god and they were so happy to die. How is that foreshadowing Luffy as the sun god? Luffy on Skypiea and the giant snake on Skypiea literally are not related at all. Another thing people will say is that Luffy's shadow looks exactly like Sun God's silhouette. Oh my god! How is that possible? One question. When was Sun God's silhouette first shown? Hmm. Oh yeah! It was literally 10 chapters before Luffy turned into the Sun God. How is that foreshadowing? That's literally Oda creating something at the last minute. And the name Nika, the Sun God named Nika, was first mentioned in chapter 1018, literally 10 chapters before Luffy turned into the Sun God. Literally every hint that Luffy is ever going to turn into the Sun God was revealed 10 chapters before he turned into the Sun God. The silhouette of Nika was shown 10 chapters before he turned into the Sun God. The name Nika was first mentioned 10 chapters before he turned into the Sun God. But Oda is a genius apparently. Oda has planned this story out for a long time. Yeah, right. Think about this. The Sun God was mentioned on Skypiea, and then the next time the Sun God was ever mentioned again was on Wano. After Skypiea and before Wano, the Sun God was not mentioned once. There are literally 20 years between Skypiea and Wano. There are like 15 story arcs between Skypiea and Wano, and the Sun God was not mentioned once. I also love the fact that the Sun God is now a historical figure, a freer of slaves, and we are all just supposed to pretend that the Sun God was never just a giant snake. Wano arc was literally the first time it was ever mentioned that Sun God is a human and that it's connected to Joy Boy and that Luffy's devil fruit is actually the Sun God devil fruit. That was never the case before Wano. I also love how One Piece fanboys make up every excuse to defend this bullshit. Old man Hyoguro saw Luffy's Gear 4 transformation and he was like, "Oh my god, Luffy, you look like the sun god." One little problem with that. That scene was on Wano. Old man Hyoguro scene with Luffy, it was on Wano. It wasn't before Wano. Literally every single hint that Luffy is ever going to be the Sun God came during Wano. It was never before Wano. And we are all supposed to pretend that Oda has everything planned out. Oda has not planned out anything. I was subscribed to a lot of One Piece YouTubers. King of Lightning, For Never World, Taking, Grand Line Review, Roger Space. And when this Sun God reveal first happened, I was like, okay, these guys are going to make a video saying how stupid this is. And when they finally made their videos, all they did was, "Oh my god, best chapter ever!" I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Are you guys reviewers or are you guys fanboys? It seems to me that you guys are just blind and loyal fanboys. Then I heard that these guys make a podcast together. All these guys, okay, like 20 anime YouTubers, they make a podcast called The Reverie. And I checked out the podcast, and the entire podcast is, "I love this about One Piece." "Well, I love this about One Piece." "Well, I love this about One Piece." Like, what the fuck? How is it possible that I'm literally the only one seeing how stupid One Piece is, how flawed One Piece is, and all the One Piece reviewers are just blind and loyal fanboys? And I'm gonna show you guys how blind and loyal these guys really are. I'm gonna show you guys how the One Piece anime YouTubers reacted to Luffy turning into a bullshit god and easily defeating Kaido. Let's go.
Zoro has to still deal with death, not like his Giga Chad captain, Luffy, who clearly beat the piss out of death. And my god, because Luffy is so freaking powerful. And the Looney Tune status, the Wile E. Coyote eyes popping out, man bending the world like it's Toon Force. It's crazy. But the effects are wonky, are crazy. I mean, at some point, this man grabs Kaido. He's gonna bleed. He's gonna...
What am I supposed to say to introduce this? I'm out of my depth here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Roger, what am I supposed to say? I mean, I could just, "Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to One Piece chapter 1044. Make sure you belt yourself into your chair because you might shoot off into the stratosphere by the end of it." All right, is that good? Does that work? Okay, let's do that. All right, One Piece chapter 1044 review titled Warrior of Liberation. Also, new rule on the channel. Whenever there's a chapter that is super hyper maximum hype, this one qualifies. I will do the review early.
What's going on, everyone? So y'all know what I came to do today. One Piece chapter 1044, 1044. Do you copy me? Because this chapter, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been this hype about manga in a while. About a chapter in particular, especially, I have not been this hyped. This is Gear 5th. This gotta be Luffy. What the hell is that? It's on the roof. Yo, how is Kaido scared? Kaido's scared. What is this? It's Luffy. And he's still laughing with that thing on his head. Hold on. Yo, he's buff. What the hell? Oh, look at his face. She. Look at him. Look at him! Ah! Holy shit, there's so much going on right here. So he is literally, okay, they made it cartoony. I ain't gonna cap. Like, this is mad cartoony. Like, the way he's just swinging Kaido around like he's nothing, but crazy as it is. He's literally just, oh my god. It's like if somebody just grabbed the Gyarados and just started swinging them around. Wow, this is freaking epic already. Holy shit, when the anime, oh my god. Yo, Joy Boy!
I feel like I'm supposed to, well, feel a ton of things. Like either epically hyped and mind blown and stuff like that. But after 1044, I just feel happy. And you know what's the most insane thing of all? I have yet to even mention the words Gear 5th. And it's weird because the existence of Gear 5th almost feels like a secondary aspect of the chapter. Because to me, it's kind of overshadowed by this whole mythical Zoan revelation. Luffy awakens his fruit, he finds some new fun powers, and then goes, yeah, this can be Gear, which one am I up to? 5th, yeah. Have some Gear 5th right in your filthy dragon face.
I'm hyped. Like, it's weird because it goes against a lot of what I would normally like, but I'm hyped for this. I look at this and I can feel nothing but excitement. This chapter was too much. My armpits are, whatever, I'm not even gonna get into it.
These anime YouTubers made a damn good job defending all of Oda's plot holes and shit writing.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
The Kurosei sent a CP9 agent after the Sun God Devil Fruit. They did not tell him that the Devil Fruit was the Sun God, okay? And then Shanks stole the Devil Fruit and the CP9 agent was thrown into Impel Town. He learned about the Sun God from the Impel Town prisoners. Later, while fighting Jinbe, he mentions the Sun God, and then he talks about Luffy. He says that he has hatred towards Monkey D. Luffy because he has the same straw hat as Shanks. While mentioning Luffy, he also talks about the Sun God, and this was the first time the Sun God named Nika was ever mentioned. He talks about Sun God and Luffy while not knowing that Luffy ate the Sun God Devil Fruit. How does that make any sense? The Kurosei knew that Shanks stole the Devil Fruit. The Kurosei renamed Gomu Gomu no Mi, okay? They were the ones who renamed Sun God to Gomu Gomu no Mi. They allowed Luffy to awaken his Devil Fruit. They could have kidnapped Luffy at a young age so he would never have the potential to get an awakening. You can say that maybe the Kurosei never went after Luffy because they never saw Luffy as a real threat. But one little problem with that, Luffy literally attacked the world government. He told Usopp to burn down the world government flag. And they still never went after him. And after that, Luffy punched a celestial dragon in the face. That was the only time they sent an admiral after Luffy. They send an admiral after Luffy for punching a celestial dragon, but they don't send an admiral after Luffy for being God. If you didn't think Kurosei was stupid enough, they get even more stupid. 2 years ago, Luffy and Buggy escaped from Impel Town, okay? And Buggy told a lot of lies to a lot of low IQ prisoners, and they all believed him. They were all like, oh my god, Buggy is this legendary pirate. I can understand a bunch of stupid prisoners falling for Buggy's lies, but you know who else fell for Buggy's lies? The Kurosei! Apparently, the Kurosei believed all the bullshit stories that Buggy told because they named Buggy Emperor. They named him an emperor. Did they forget that Buggy was a prisoner of Impel Down? Level 1? He was in level 1 because he was a weakling? Did they just forget that? And if that's not stupid enough, right before Wano, it was revealed that, oh, actually, there's a force that rules over the Kurosei called Im-sama. Im-sama was never mentioned. He was never hinted at. This character literally came out of nowhere, just like this Sun God reveal came out of nowhere, because Oda apparently has everything planned out, right? So yeah, it turns out that there's this Im-sama, a character that has never been mentioned, and actually he is the real ruler of the world government, or something like that. I mean, can One Piece get any more stupid? Yes, yes it can. In July of last year, I said that One Piece is going to end with Luffy and Im-sama floating in the air, throwing energy balls at each other, and their energy balls are so powerful that they can destroy entire islands. You know, just like Dragon Ball. And then Im-sama destroyed an entire island with an energy attack. I'm not even joking. Literally 2 months after I said the joke about Dragon Ball, One Piece turning into Dragon Ball, Im-sama turned into a Dragon Ball character by destroying an entire island in a second. I mean, if the world government had the ability to destroy islands in seconds, why did they use a Buster Call in the first place? If they used that attack every single time they wanted to destroy an island, characters like Nico Robin, threats to world government, would not exist right now.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
The CP0 were supposed to be the strongest world government agents, okay? They were feared by everyone. When Nico Robin and Trafalgar Water D Law first saw CP0 agents, they shit their pants. CP0 was introduced on Dressrosa, and everyone's reaction was, holy shit! But then, in one arc, these agents were pathetic. They were a complete joke. One of these agents got defeated by Izou. Yeah, literally defeated by Izou. Oh wait, he got killed by Izou. Think about that. He got killed by someone like Izou. He managed to kill a CP0 agent. Another one of these agents was one-shotted by Kaido. He didn't even put up a fight. Kaido just lifted his arm and killed the guy. The third agent, after seeing how weak his fellow CP0 agents are, well, he just ran away from Wano like a little coward. Yeah, the CP0 agents on Wano were pathetic. And I'm supposed to believe that these guys were on Wano to take down Luffy? That's complete bullshit. The CP0 agents on Wano were weaker than pre-timeskip CP9 agents. In the next arc, the CP0 agents sent after Vegapunk, well, they all have awakened devil fruits. What the heck? You send regular guys after Luffy, and you send awakened devil fruit users after Vegapunk. How does that make any sense? The agents after Wano, the ones going after Vegapunk, are like 100 times stronger than the agents on Wano. The agents on Wano were literally made out of paper, okay? One of these agents, Rob Lucci, has a fight against awakened Luffy, the same guy who took down Kaido easily. Somehow he is able to keep up with Luffy. And the fight lasts for 2 chapters. Oh, and Rob Lucci survives. All he has is a little band-aid on his cheek. That's it. Rob Lucci doesn't even have any scars after fighting a god. A lot of One Piece YouTubers defended Luffy versus Lucci by saying that, oh, the reason why Lucci was able to keep up with a god was because, you know, Luffy was just playing around with Lucci. He wasn't serious at all. That's a good theory and all, but one little problem with that. You see, when Luffy was just playing with Luffy, Senton Maru was literally bleeding to death on the ground. So is Luffy a psychopath? The funny thing is, I played a game way back in 2014 and I created a guild named Cyberball 9. And I created skins, okay? Skins of CP9 characters. And these skins were pretty good, I ain't gonna lie. And then CP9 became irrelevant because the chapter came out where CP0 was first introduced. CP0 literally came out of nowhere. They didn't exist before Dressrosa. The strongest agency was always CP9. We are supposed to pretend that, oh, actually, there was this CP0 all along. Yeah, right. And then people told me, man, just, rename your guild to CP0. No one cares about CP9 anymore. CP9 are now weaklings. And I find that funny because one arc showed us that CP0 agents were weaker than CP9 agents. And literally, the strongest CP0 agents are former CP9 agents. Stassi is the head of the Pleasure District, and all the heads of the underworld are invited to Whole Cake Island by Big Mom. Later, it's also revealed that Stassi is a CP0 agent working for Gorosei. Stassi was created by Dr. Vegapunk. She is a clone of a famous Rocks Crew pirate member. Big Mom not once recognized Stassi. And you may be asking, why did Big Mom have to recognize Stassi? Well, it's because Big Mom is also a former Rocks Crew pirate member. And not once did Big Mom ever look at Stassi and say, you kind of look like Miss Buckingham. Are you two related or something? Big Mom has Alzheimer's. Everyone in One Piece forgets everything. Everyone in One Piece has Alzheimer's at this point. Another thing that makes no sense at all is that later on Stassi, Kaku, and Rob Lutzi are sent after Dr. Vegapunk. Stassi was created by Dr. Vegapunk and they decided to send her, a creation of Dr. Vegapunk, after Dr. Vegapunk because that makes sense. And you know what happened? Stassi betrayed everyone. She took out Rob Lutzi and Kaku easily. She took out two awakened devil fruit users like they were nothing. Can the Gorosei get any more stupid? Why didn't the world government lock up all of Vegapunk's creations just to be safe? Also, CP0 is supposed to be the most secret organization the world government has, and it got infiltrated by a spy working for the enemy of the Gorosei. How does that make any sense? I keep asking, how does this make any sense? But literally nothing in One Piece makes any sense.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
Nico Robin turned into a giant devil. A giant devil with red skin, horns, and massive wings. And then hundreds of arms came out the ground, destroying everything around them. You know, that's a really cool ability to have. That's a nice ability. One problem with that. When did she ever have the ability to turn into a giant, massive devil with hundreds of arms coming out of the ground, destroying everything? She was never able to turn into a giant devil with red skin, horns, massive giant wings. She was never able to do that. Nico Robin was always a background character. Oda really didn't care much about her. She only had 2 fights. Nico Robin had a fight against a giant on Skypiea, and then later on Fishman Island, she fought against a fishman called Hammond, and she defeated him in like a minute. That's it. She never had any other fights. So, how is Nico Robin all of a sudden able to take down Black Maria? Black Maria and the rest of the Tobiroppo were strong characters. They were going to be the future commanders of the Peace Pirates. If Queen, King, or Jack ever died, then it was possible for a Tobiroppo to take a new place as a Yonko commander. That's how strong the Tobiroppo were. So how was Nico Robin able to defeat Black Maria knowing that she had no fights in the One Piece story, that she never fought against anyone? Devil transformation came out of nowhere, and all the One Piece simps, aka the One Piece YouTubers, were like, ah, yeah, Nico Robin is so cool and awesome. We're not gonna question how she got the ability. We're just gonna clap and cheer. That's what all we're gonna do. Because we are simps. Later on in the story, it was revealed that Nico Robin knew about the location of Pluton the entire time since Alabasta, and she never told anyone for some unknown reason. She had a talk with Odin's father, and Odin's father told her that yes, it's on Wano. Pluton is under Wano. Before arriving at Wano, Nico Robin knew that Pluton is on Wano. After arriving on Wano, she knew that it's on Wano. Literally nothing changed, but for some reason, now, knowing that it's on Wano, even though she knew it before, she all of a sudden decides to tell the Straw Hats about Pluton. Nico Robin asks Luffy, what should we do about Pluton? Nothing. Let's do nothing. What? When I first heard that Pluton is under Wano, my first reaction is, okay, the next arc is going to be Straw Hats under Wano trying to find and destroy Pluton so the Kurosei could not get their hands on it. But no, that's not what happened. The Straw Hats were like, who gives a shit? Let's move on. Even Frankie was like, yeah, let's move on. Frankie went through so much shit because of Pluton. His father was murdered because of Pluton. The CP9 tried to assassinate his brother because of Pluton. And even Frankie was like, oh, it's under Wano? Oh my god, oh, Luffy says we shouldn't do anything about it. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next arc. Who gives a shit? Did Oda forget about Water 7 and Enies Lobby? Water 7 and Enies Lobby, those 2 arcs, their entire purpose was Pluton. The entire story was Pluton. And now it's like, yeah, who cares? Let's move on. And then people ask me why I no longer like One Piece. Because One Piece is shit at this point.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
What was Oda smoking when he created the Mink tribe? Was he on drugs or something? How did a bunch of animals, different species of animals, all become humanoid? Did a group of pirates arrive in Zou at one point and they had their way with every single animal they found? Because that's the only way this makes any sense. What happens when a dog mink and a cat mink have a child? Does the child become a hybrid of both of them? But we saw no hybrids on Zou. So does that mean that dogs only get with dogs and cats only get with cats? Why did Oda create these things? And if this wasn't weird enough, Oda gave the female minks massive boobs. Oda had a dog wearing a fucking bikini. And if that's not bad enough, anime YouTubers simped for Carrot, a rabbit. Carrot is a rabbit with big boobs, and anime YouTubers who review One Piece for some reason wanted Carrot to join the Straw Hats. First of all, Carrot didn't even have a personality. Her entire personality was, I like biting people. That's it. A lot of these anime YouTubers made videos saying that Carrot should join the Straw Hats. But the worst one out of all of them was Taking 101. Taking literally simped for a cartoon rabbit with big boobs. I'm not even joking. Taking made a 23-minute long video saying 5 reasons why Carrot should join the Straw Hats. He made a review of chapter 888 where he called Carrot a goddess. He called a rabbit a goddess. I'm not even joking. And if that wasn't weird as shit, he dressed up as a rabbit for Easter. He called this video a very Carrot Easter. Like, bro, come on. Is there anything you want to tell us? I'm not gonna judge, but come on. There's probably something you want to tell us, right? Taking wasn't the only simp that Carrot had. So let's get to Sanji next. Sanji fell in love with all the mink animals. He didn't care if it was a dog or a cat or a deer or a rabbit. As long as it had massive big boobs, Sanji was all over them. Sanji is a sick pervert, okay? Sanji was always a pervert, but this is on another level. This ruined Sanji's character for me. Sanji wanted to have sex with animals, come on! When Sanji had to go to Whole Cake Island and Luffy was going to save him, I was like, nah, Luffy, there's no need to save Sanji. Just forget about him. Sanji died. He's already dead, okay? Let's imagine you are a Sanji fan. Sanji is your favorite character in One Piece, but you have not kept up with One Piece since Dressrosa. Dressrosa was the last arc you read. And then someone says, oh, you have not kept up with One Piece? Let me tell you about Sanji. Let's play the Terminator music now. There's this famous pirate group called Germa 66 and literally everyone knows about them. But we have never heard about them until Whole Cake Island because let's move on. Let's forget about that. They are famous, very famous. The leader of Germa 66 is Sanji's father, and Sanji's brothers are they are Power Rangers. Sanji's brothers and sister are literally the Power Rangers. Sanji's brothers, well, they have red hair, blue hair, green hair, and Sanji, he is the yellow Power Ranger. Literally, these guys are Super Sentai characters. And Sanji's father is a mad scientist, and he tells Sanji, wear my suit, boy. I made your suit, boy, wear it. But Sanji doesn't want to wear the suit, but in Wano, he wears the suit. And the suit turns him into a Terminator. He literally gets a steel exoskeleton, and he becomes so powerful that he fights against a Yonko commander. He literally kicks a Yonko commander into space. You know, if I was a Sanji fan, Sanji was my favorite character, and I haven't read One Piece since Dressrosa, and I was told all of that. My first reaction would be, nah, this is bullshit. My second reaction after confirming that all that was said is true would be, what the f***?
Here's how how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
I wanted to drop One Piece turning Dressrosa because Dressrosa kept dragging on for such a long time. But the one thing that kept me going was Kaido's introduction. Kaido's introduction was badass! Kaido was built up for such a long time, since Punk Hazard. Law and Luffy made their alliance at Punk Hazard to take down Kaido, and they took down Caesar Clown to stop Kaido's artificial devil fruit manufacturing. Then, in the next arc, the second longest arc in One Piece, Dressrosa, they took down Doflamingo and destroyed Kaido's weapon manufacturing. In Zou, the Mink, the Samurai, Hard Pirates and the Straw Hat Pirates made an alliance to take down Kaido. And then there was Wano, the longest arc in One Piece. You have to be an idiot to mess up a character like Kaido, but somehow Oda messed Kaido up. Kaido was a joke character by the end of the story. How is that possible? All the villains before Kaido, Big Mom, Doflamingo, even Hody Jones, and literally no one cares about him. All these villains, they had a backstory explaining why they are the way they are. Kaido, the villain who was built up for a decade, he didn't get a backstory. All we got from him was, oh, he was always strong, even as a child. That's it. That was Kaido's backstory. We didn't even get a motivation on why Kaido was evil. Oh, he was just evil for the sake of being evil. That was Kaido's character. Why did Kaido only recruit Zone-type Devil Fruit users? Why were everyone in his crew ancient and mythical Zone-type Devil Fruit users? Never explained. Why did Kaido want to die? Never explained. Why was Kaido unable to die? Never explained. After fighting Luffy, did Kaido survive? No idea, never explained. Kaido in the end was so irrelevant that Oda didn't even bother to explain if Luffy killed him or not. Yeah, Luffy defeated Kaido. How is that possible? Well, I already talked about it. Luffy died by the hands of Kaido, and then he woke up with an awakening. He woke up 1,000 times stronger, and he woke up as a god. Then Luffy took Kaido's dragon form, did jumping ropes with him. He went inside of Kaido. Kaido looked like a pregnant woman because Luffy turned into a balloon inside of him. Then Luffy stretched out Kaido's eyeballs. Kaido was screaming from pain. Luffy punches Kaido so hard that he creates a nuclear explosion. And Kaido was supposed to be the strongest creature alive. Is it even possible to humiliate Kaido even more? Yes, of course it is. Kaido took his massive, giant Kanabo, smashed Kinemon into a bloody pulp, and then took Kinemon's katana, stabbed the guy in the heart, and Kinemon survived. Is there anything good in the story? Anything at all? Wait, is that a giant? Damn, it's a giant! There's 10 of them? These guys are called the Numbers? These guys look like oars! Holy shit! These guys look badass! Look at those red, piercing eyes! Man, I want to see this guy fight against Luffy! What? What? That's it? There's no way that's it. Like, come on. There's 10 of them, right? Okay, 2 of them were weak, but come on, there's like 8 left. Maybe the other 8 are stronger. There's no way Oda is going to introduce badass looking characters like these, giant massive Oni characters, just to have them defeated like that. That doesn't make any sense. Let me check. They all got defeated easily. All of them. All of them got defeated by one punch, by literally every character imaginable. What was their point? Why were they in the story in the first place? Just to show how strong Luffy is? We already know that Luffy is strong. Why is everyone in Kaido's army so weak?
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
Remember Ace's execution? How it was literally the biggest event in all of One Piece. Everyone went there to see the execution with their own 2 eyes. All the marines scattered, the vice admirals, the 3 main admirals, fleet admiral, even the 7 warlords. Literally everyone was there to witness Ace's execution. And Ace's execution was broadcast everywhere because Ace was the son of the Pirate King, the only living relative of the Pirate King Kool T. Roger. At the time, Ace had a massive bounty, the biggest bounty in One Piece at 540 million berries. At the time, that was massive. But now, looking back, 500 million berries is literally nothing. It doesn't make any sense for Ace's bounty to be this low. The entire world stopped for a guy with an average bounty, with an okay bounty. Like there are 100 characters now with a larger bounty than Ace? How did the son of the Pirate King, one of the generals in the Whitebeard Pirates, have such a low bounty? Every single general that we have seen, a general of a Yonko, has had close to 1 billion berry bounty. But Ace only had 500 million? That doesn't make any sense. Since we are at the topic of bounties, it doesn't make any sense how overpowered the Straw Hat Pirates are. The Straw Hat Pirates have been active for 2 years and they have 10 members. And the Straw Hat Pirates bounty is 8 billion berries, and that's a lot considering the fact that they have never even killed anyone. Big Mom Pirates have around 20,000 members. They have a massive fleet. Big Mom Pirates have enslaved entire countries. They have killed thousands of people. They have been active for decades and their bounty is 10 billion berries. 2 billion berries more than the Straw Hat Pirates. How is it possible that a Yonko group, tens of thousands of members, a group that has been active for decades, only has 2 billion berries more than Straw Hat Pirates? For the Straw Hat Pirates to only have 10 members on the crew and then also have a bounty of 8 billion berries is ridiculous. Just by looking at the way things are going, if the Straw Hats ever get 100 members, their bounty is going to be in the trillions. Usopp has a 500 million berry bounty at this point. He almost has the same bounty as Ace. So my question is, if Usopp ever gets captured by the Marines, will the entire world stop for Usopp? Will everyone stand to witness Usopp's execution? Honestly, it makes no sense at all how low Ace's bounty was.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
Remember how simple Paramecia devil fruits used to be. But now, the Paramecia abilities don't make any sense at all. First of all, Oda has gotten very lazy. He has used every single ability you can think of. And now all the abilities are like, oh, okay, this guy gets super strength. This guy in Beast Pirates gets teleportation. This guy gets the ability of Sick Fruit, which also has the ability to turn men into women for some reason. I noticed Oda first getting lazy with the Devil Fruit abilities way back in Dressrosa when half of the Devil Fruit abilities introduced were just copies of Devil Fruit abilities shown at Alabasta. But now the Devil Fruit abilities can be literally anything. Let's take Whole Cake Island as an example. You have a mochi devil fruit, okay? You have a candy devil fruit, a butter devil fruit, a cream devil fruit, a cracker devil fruit. Literally half of the devil fruits in Whole Cake Island were just food. It was just food, okay? I think Oda went to the supermarket and he was like, I'm running out of Paramecia abilities to use. And then he looked at pizza and he was like, oh yeah, pizza devil fruit. Oh, ice cream devil fruit. Tomato devil fruit. I can use peanut and butter as two different devil fruits, and they have the ability to combine together into peanut butter. I'm a genius. I'm pretty sure that's what happened because that's the only way it makes sense that devil fruit users in Whole Cake Island was just, oh, it's a cracker, it's a cream, it's butter, it's mochi. It's actually kind of ridiculous. And the food-based abilities were not the only weird devil fruits in Whole Cake Island. There was a character that combined with 9 other characters into a giant monster. How does that make any sense at all? But the weirdest Paramecia devil fruit in Whole Cake Island had to be Strusen's ability to turn literally anything into any food. And you may think, what's so weird about that? There are billions of foods with different tastes, different flavors, different combinations, and he is literally able to turn anything into any food. This guy has the ability to manipulate reality. Does Oda even think about the batshit insane abilities he creates? Strusen's ability is literally the second most broken ability in all of One Piece. Now let's talk about the most broken Paramecia ability in all of One Piece. And that ability belongs to Sugar. Sugar literally has the most broken devil fruit in One Piece. She has like 10 different Paramecia abilities built into one. Sugar has the ability to turn people into toys. What kind of toys? Any toy. She can just turn people into random toys. Sugar also has the ability to turn people into her slaves. She touches you, turns you into a toy, and then you become her slave. But that's not all. Once she touches you, turns you into a toy, turns you into a slave, literally everyone that knows about you forgets about your existence. One question that I have is, if you are on East Blue and Sugar touches someone you know on Dressrosa, will you still forget about their existence? If that's the case, Sugar's devil fruit range has no limit. It's infinite. And that's broken beyond being broken. Like I said, Oda does not even think about what he creates anymore. There's one more ability I want to talk about, and that's the ability of if an animal eats the dango, they become the devil fruit user's slave. And surprise, surprise, a devil fruit just like that happens to be on Wano, where literally every single villain is a animal human hybrid. And you know what happens? All the animal human hybrids betray Kaido because they ate a fucking dango. Genius writing by Oda. Oda is a genius. Let's give him a clap.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line. There's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing. I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
Remember how hype it was when Marco was first shown when he turned into the Phoenix. Remember how hype it was when X-Drake showed up and turned into a dinosaur. One question. Are you still hyped when mythical and ancient zone type devil fruit show up? Because I'm not. Because mythical and ancient zone type devil fruits are so overused. They are literally handed out like candy to literally everyone. Mythical devil fruit abilities were supposed to be the most rare ability in One Piece. But now, literally, a horse and a fox have a mythical ability. And these abilities were supposed to be more rare than Logia's. Well, I don't know a single Logia user that is an animal. Wano Arc gave a random fox a mythical devil fruit. And after Wano, it was revealed that Tokyu's horse has a mythical devil fruit ability. Because that makes sense. Before time skip, there were only two mythical devil fruit users, Sengoku and Marco. And now there are like what, nine? 9 users? But after time skip, only 5 or 6 regular zone type devil fruit users were introduced to the story. After time skip, 15 new ancient and mythical zone type devil fruit users were introduced, and only 5 or 6 regular zone type devil fruit users. By the end of the story, there are going to be more mythical and ancient zone type devil fruit users than regular zone type devil fruit users. Here is my prediction. If an old character with a zone devil fruit returns, he will have an awakening ability. And if a new character with a zone ability is introduced, they will have a mythical or an ancient zone type devil fruit. That's my prediction for One Piece. Why are ancient devil fruits called ancient when dinosaurs are not extinct? I understand that dinosaurs are extinct in our world, okay? In real life. But in One Piece, dinosaurs are literally everywhere. There were thousands of dinosaurs on Little Garden. So what gives? How can they be ancient? Anyone can go to Little Garden. It's not like a secret place. It's not moving around like so. The mythical zone type devil fruit users had special abilities, stupid goofy abilities, and it was explained that these abilities are based on the actual creatures, that dinosaurs in One Piece actually had these abilities. But in Little Garden, when dinosaurs attacked the Straw Hats, not a single dinosaur ever used those abilities.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
When Doflamingo first used his awakening ability, he said that this is the rarest ability anyone can get, that very few, tiny minority of Devil Fruit users will ever develop an awakening ability. And then literally everyone got an awakening ability. Because that makes sense, right? Before Doflamingo, there wasn't a single awakened Devil Fruit user. Oh wait, the Impel Down jailers. How could I forget them? Yes, they were the most powerful characters pre-time skip. One of these characters, the zebra guy, punched Crocodile so hard that he died in a single punch. And when Luffy saw that, he fell on the ground. He was kneeling in front of them, begging them, please, please, let me go save my brother. But they didn't care. The Minotaur lifted his hand and he was about to punch Luffy to death. But then Bone Clay jumped in front of Luffy and Bone Clay died. And Luffy had the time to escape. I mean, these guys were absolutely insane when it comes to power. To this day, they are still the top 5 strongest characters in One Piece. Oh wait, that's not what happened. Pre-time skip Luffy literally defeated the Minotaur. That's how weak these characters were. So I'm not gonna even talk about these characters when it comes to awakening because these guys were a joke. So, how is it the rarest ability you can get when literally everyone has it now? In Whole Cake Island, Katakuri, a Yonko commander of Big Mom Pirates, had an awakening ability. And you can say that yes, it makes sense. He's a Yonko commander after all. But one tiny little problem with that. Whitebeard did not have an awakening. Big Mom did not have an awakening. Kaido did not have an awakening, but Katakuri did? On Wano, Trafalgar Law and Kid were fighting Big Mom. And then Kid was like, I'm gonna use my awakening. And I was like, what? What awakening? You have an awakening and you never mentioned it? And then Trafalgar Law is also like, yeah, I'm also gonna use my awakening. And I was like, what? How? When? What? That doesn't make any sense. Since when has Trafalgar Law ever had an awakening ability? But don't worry, it was explained by, oh, you see, I always had an awakening. I just never used it because it tires me out. Doflamingo beat the shit out of Law, cut off his arm. Law was literally dying in front of Doflamingo. But he didn't use an awakening because it tired him out? What? Does anyone else understand how stupid One Piece story is? You can say that Law got an awakening after fighting Doflamingo. But after fighting Doflamingo, he didn't fight anyone besides Basil Hawkins. So did he get an awakening while fighting Basil Hawkins, but not get an awakening by fighting Doflamingo? That doesn't. You know what? I'm not gonna repeat myself. Nothing makes any sense. But you know, that's not the most stupid thing that happened in One Piece. After Law and Kid got their bullshit awakenings, Luffy got a bullshit awakening. And I already explained in part 1 how it makes no sense at all. But to remind everyone, Luffy died by the hands of Kaido. Kaido, aka the strongest creature alive. And then, after being killed, he woke up as a god. He woke up 1,000 times stronger. He woke up with an awakening and easily defeated Kaido with no problems at all. But if that wasn't stupid enough, after, Luffy got an awakening, Rob Lucci and Kaku return. And of course, they both have awakenings. Because why not? Because literally everyone gets an awakening now. Okay, so Rob Lucci has an awakening, Kaku has an awakening, Law, Kid, Luffy have an awakening, Doflamingo has an awakening. But Kaido, Big Mom, and Whitebeard did not have an awakening.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
Right before arriving at Wano, Luffy barely won against a Yonko commander, but now Luffy is able to take down a Yonko. Zoro and Sanji are able to take down Yonko commanders. Right before fighting King, Zoro was injured. His entire body was broken. He had like 30 broken bones and he was covered in bandages. Like his entire body was so covered up that you would not even be able to see him. But then some bullshit happens. This goat mink literally comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Hey Zoro, I have this miracle medicine that can literally heal anything. It can heal any injury." And all of Zoro's injuries are healed. One Piece is absolutely garbage. It doesn't make any sense. This medicine was never mentioned once. This goat mink literally comes out of nowhere and just, "Oh yeah, I have this miracle medicine. Use it and you are healed." Okay, genius writing by Oda again. How can people say that Oda is one of the best manga writers? He gets healed by a miracle medicine that has never been mentioned once. And then he fights a Yonko commander. A Yonko commander! Like he wasn't injured at all. And he fights King one-on-one. And then it's revealed that King is a Lunarian. And Lunarians have never been shown in One Piece. This was the first time a Lunarian was shown. I was like, okay, Oda is going to do something massive with King. There's no way he is going to reveal King as a Lunarian only to have him defeated in the next chapter, right? Oh wait, that's exactly what happened. Oda revealed King as a Lunarian and in the next chapter Zoro defeated him. So what was the point? King was revealed as a Lunarian in Wano. Before Wano, Lunarians didn't exist in One Piece. But right after Wano, the first island the Straw Hats go into, oh yeah, there's a bunch of Lunarian clones created by the world government. Because oh my god, how stupid One Piece is. Let's just move on to the next part. We are at the final part. The only thing I want to say in this part is, what is the One Piece? Well, the One Piece was pretty disappointing. So does it really matter what the One Piece was? The entire story has been ruined at this point. Most of the characters have been ruined. It's inconsistent, filled with plot holes, nothing makes any sense. Characters are out of character. And in the end, One Piece was just one piece of shit!
てめえなんでやられちまったんだよかわいそうなジョーカーひとえにてめえが弱えせいだが